Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. It's Melanie here from Mel's Inky Fingers, coming to you from a chilly, windy, and snowy Northwest Ohio. I hope it's a little warmer where you are. However, I have to remind myself that it is January. So this is to be expected. And honestly, I really do like snow. So anyway, thank you for joining me today. Happy Friday and welcome. I'm going to give everyone just a couple of minutes to find me and make sure that I'm in the right spot and that you can hear me. So when you jump on, say hello. Let me know you're here. It's always nice to know who I'm chatting with. And it does look like I'm in the right spot. And let me make sure that you can hear. And yep, so I think we are all set. So hello, welcome, and happy Friday, everyone. Today we are diving into celebration full force. I have two beautiful cards to share with you today using the free Softly Sophisticated bundle. This includes the stamp set and this beautiful embossing folder, which I'm going to show you. And we're going to make a couple of cards. I'm struggling a little bit with my lighting today because of the glare. So when I get you some better light, you get this glare here. So I'm sorry if it's just a little dark. I need to work on this a little bit more and make sure that you can see well without having glare, which is kind of quite annoying, honestly. So happy Friday. Welcome. Thanks for joining. I don't have a lot of announcements today other than you should all have received your January to April mini catalogs as well as your celebration brochure. They were all together. And I hope you've had a chance to look through them. It is an amazing catalog. There is so much good stuff in here. Now, this celebration catalog, everything in here is free. There's nothing in here that you can purchase. You get all of these items in here free. You get to select which one you would like. When you shop with me in my online store, your order will automatically prompt you. I have no ability to get these for you on your orders. It's all automatically generated when you place your order in my online store, and you can select which one you want. So I'm hoping I really didn't lose video. Let's see, this is telling me I just lost you. Let's hope not. It looks like I'm still there. If you're on, can you please say hello and let me know you're here if you can see me? Hi, Joan, welcome. This just kicked me off and said that my video had ended. So I'm hoping that is not the case. Give me a moment to find you here and make sure that you're still really here. All right, so it does look like I'm still here. That's great. I don't know why it said my video had ended. So I record on one device and then I watched the video and the comments on another so that I can answer your questions. And on my device that I watch, it said the video had ended. I'm glad you can hear me, Joan. Thank you for letting me know. So let's jump in today. So we are going to create a couple of cards. These are fairly straightforward, and I have pulled in a lot of celebration items. So the focus of the show today is going to be this beautiful, softly sophisticated stamp set, which is paired with a embossing folder. And this comes as a bundle together. All right, sorry about that. I had a call come through because I forgot to put my phone on focus. So sorry about that. And can you hear me now and see me? It looks like it's all good now. So, but in addition to that beautiful bundle, we are going to take a little look at this gorgeous Flight and Airy Designer Series paper, which has the birds and then beautiful patterns on the back side. Love this paper. I especially love this beautiful watercolor, which is great for layering. So pretty. And we are going to use some of these gems. These are the opaque faceted gems. They come in 3 colors and 2 different sizes, and we're going to use that on one of the cards. So lots of sneak peeks today. So I guess Facebook is just going to be a challenge between, it's just not going to let me continue to follow this video. I am sorry. This is not how Fridays are supposed to go. Let's keep trying, right? Never give up. All right. Hi, Chris. Welcome. Thanks for joining. All right. So we're going to start by making this card. Now, on this project, we have 3 celebration items. We have the bundle, and you can get a really nice look at the beautiful detail in that embossing folder. It's so, so pretty. We have the gorgeous Flight and Airy Designer Series paper, which is just really soft and delicate. And then we have the gems here. Now, this bundle you can earn free with a purchase of at least $100 in my online store. This is one of the selections you can make. We have several items at the $50 level. You could choose 2, or we have a few items at the $100 level, and you could choose one of those. So it's your choice, which is really kind of fun. Now, to create this card, we are going to use one of my favorite new colors, which is Bubble Bath. So this is a 4 1/4 by 11 inch card base, which is half of a sheet of cardstock, and it's scored at 5 1/2. Then we have another piece of Bubble Bath, which is cut 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to emboss this and layer that on the front. Then you are going to want a label for the front of your card, and I have chosen this label. These have become my new favorite, and these are from the Everyday Details dies. And if you saw my unboxing video, you saw how awesome this die set is. Look at how many dies are in here. And they all have this eyelet detail around the edge. There's rectangles or circles. And then what I love is they each have a pierced one in the center that's smaller that you could either die cut the center out of or create a little sentiment label for layering. I love that. The circle has one as well. So very versatile. And then there are a couple of dies that are simply made for adding detail to the back of your card. So here's one, which is neat. I use this on a project that I can't show you, but it's part of the tutorial bundle that you earn when you shop with me. Everyone who shops with me and spends at least $50 gets that. There's a new one each month, and the project is part of that tutorial bundle. There's 12 projects. It's really amazing. And then there's these, which is really neat, that you could just add some detail into your project. So I used this middle die. It's actually the second from the largest. So I used that to cut out a label from Basic White. This is actually a layer that we're going to add, and we're going to layer it with a piece of Designer Series paper. You can choose whatever color you would like. This piece is cut just large enough to show behind this label, and it is 2 1/8 by 3 5/8. And the size of this will vary depending on what size you need for the front of your card, and that's going to get layered there. Then to bling it up, you know, we always have to bling it up. I'm going to use 2 trims. I'm going to use the Bubble Bath ribbon, which is so pretty. This comes paired with Lemon Lolly, Azure Afternoon, and the Bubble Bath. It comes as one set. I love it. It's satin. It's the perfect size and ties really nice. And then, of course, need a little blingy, so I'm going to bring in some of the Simply Elegant silver cord to tie our bow. So inks, Garden Green and Bubble Bath, and these will vary depending on the Designer Series paper that you use. So this is what I chose to match my paper. You could also pull in Pool Party if you would rather. There's some Daffodil Delight in here, and if you use the birds, you even have additional colors that you can bring in. So let's start by stamping this portion of our project. Now, if you notice, I'm using my glass mat. I absolutely have been loving this. This is something that you can earn free this month and next month while supplies last when you join my Stampin' Up! Team. And just because you join my team doesn't mean you have to do what I'm doing. Many demonstrators who join Stampin' Up! Just simply enjoy discounted shopping every day of the week, which, let's face it, that in itself is awesome. So if you would like to become part of my Stampin' community, jump on over to my blog at melsinkyfingers.com and click Join the Fun. And when you click Join the Fun, you will be able to pick out any $125 in Stampin' Up! Product that you would like. And it's only going to be $99 plus the tax. Stampin' Up! Even ships it free. Then you get a choice of 2 bonus items during celebration, which is January and February. You can choose this glass mat, which is amazing. And then it also comes with this silicone tray for mixing ink or holding your tools so they don't roll away. And this awesome cloth, which when you get ink or adhesive on this mat, you just wipe it. It comes clean so easy. I absolutely love it. I've even been putting my ink right to my tray, and then I've been using my Wink of Stella to pick it up and add it to my project. You can flick it on your project. I just love having the ability to do this. And then I just wipe it like this and it's all gone. This mat is amazing. And you can only get it right now in a starter kit. If this isn't your gig, it's okay. Don't worry, because you can also add $30 additional of Stampin' Up! Product to your starter kit of your choice. So you can choose this mat, which is a $60 value that comes with the cloth and the tray, or you can choose $30 additional in product, your choice. All right, so you saw that I just stamped my flower here. So I stamped the foliage in the garden green ink, and then I added the flowers in bubble bath ink, and then you got the little bonus of me flicking some bubble bath Wink of Stella on that as well for a little extra shimmer, which is very pretty. Now we're going to simply layer this onto our designer series paper. But before we do that, we're going to add our ribbon. So let's bring in our 2 trims. I'm going to take this bubble bath ribbon. I absolutely love this ribbon. And I'm just going to have a piece big enough to wrap around like this. You know, I like to do this with my ribbon where I don't tie a bow, but I simply wrap it around and then tie it with twine or the Simply Elegant trim, or even the 1/8 inch silver and gold ribbon that's an online exclusive. You've seen me use that before. That works really good for tying it too. So I'm just going to tie a bow around the 2 ends. So the ribbon itself is not tied. What's going to hold it together is our trim here. Okay. So I'm going to pull that nice and tight because that's what holds the bow. And then see how it has our ends together, which is really nice. Now, if for some reason you tie this and your ribbon is a little loose, let me show you how you correct that. It's really, really easy. So no stressing over getting this tight. If you tie it and your ribbon is kind of loose, all you do is take your 2 ends like this, pull them apart. That's going to slide this down and it'll make your ribbon nice and tight. See how pretty that is? I'm sorry the light is just, I feel like it's just suboptimal. I am going to slide that over. I apologize, but it's much better light. Now we're going to add this layer. So let's take a couple of dimensionals and look at a new sheet. I was low last week. It's a good thing I didn't run out. That would be a tragedy. All right. So I received a box of nothing but dimensionals the other day. Ha, I loved it. You know how much I love dimensionals. There was a ton of them in there. I loved it. I was counting them and there were a lot of them. All right, let me pull you back up here because you went away on my other device, so I can't see comments. I'm sorry, I have to keep doing this. It's a Facebook thing. It keeps telling me that my video has ended, and I know it hasn't. And then it's kind of a pain to get back to it. So it's a lot of clicks to get back to it. So let me get back there. I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about this part on the Facebook side. All right, so if you're still with me, please say hello so I know you're here. Hi, Melissa. Thanks for joining. Okay. So it's really strange because on my phone, which is recording, it tells me when I have someone new joining, but it doesn't show me on the computer. Oh, well. Okay, so now let's move to our card base. So we're going to take this 4-inch by 5 1/4 inch layer, and we're going to emboss it with the embossing folder that's part of this Softly Sophisticated bundle. So here is the embossing folder. Again, this is a free celebration item. So if you love this as much as I do, you can earn it free if I can get the embossing folder apart. There we go. I'm just going to set this in here, and we're going to run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And this is one of the 3D embossing folders, which means it gives you a nice deep impression. Hi, Polly, welcome. So to do this in your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you're going to use your white base plate, your embossing folder with your paper, and then your gray plate. And it shows you that right here. It shows you to use your 2 clear plates with standard embossing folders, your gray plate with 3D embossing folders. So let's put this through. It will make the magic happen, which it really is magic, isn't it? And look how beautiful this is. This is one of the most beautiful embossing folders that I think we've had for a celebration. So look at this. Hopefully you can see the gorgeous detail in that. Isn't that pretty? And what I love about this is it's just as pretty on the back. So this is the debossed side, so it's smooth. This is the embossed side, so it's raised. So embossed side is raised, debossed side is flat, and it's an indentation where the pattern is. And you can choose to put it whichever way you want on your project, and both ways are very pretty. All right, so let's add some Stampin' Seal to the back of this. And then I'm just going to add this to the front of my card. So we're just going to center it, and hopefully it's centered because I can't get over the top. And then we're just going to add this layer. You can center it, you can off-center it to the left or to the right. It's your choice. I kind of like it off-centered a little to the right. So I'm going to put some dimensionals on this. Actually, you know, maybe I'm not. I'll keep it a little flatter. I'm going to put this right down on the card front. Sometimes when you have ribbon, I always add dimensionals so that it sits flat, but this ribbon is so thin, it's not going to make it bump up. So I'm just going to set it on the front like that, and that bubble bath colored Wink of Stella is now dry and adds such a pretty touch to that. Now what's left is our sentiment. So I have a little scrap that's a 1/2 inch by 2 inches long of basic white. It's got a little, there we go. It had a little piece of paper on it, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment in garden green. You could do black, you could do some other color if you wanted as well, but we're going to use the Hello There sentiment, and we are actually using every stamp in this stamp set today on our projects. Isn't that neat? So hopefully this is centered and straight since I can't really see. You know, one nice thing about this mat is there's the grid lines on it, so you can line up your stamps and line up your sentiments on your paper by using the grid lines. and I am a little off center. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pull this down a little closer where I can see it. And sorry, you're not going to be able to see me stamp, but there we go. That's better. At least now it's centered. And then you can either put this inside your, banner, pick a punch, or you can just cut a banner end. So when I cut a banner end, I cut up whoops, my thing's in the way. I cut up in the middle first, because then I know it's in the center. And then I go corner to the tip of the slit, corner to the tip of the slit. And then your banner end is going to be equal, unless you didn't put your snip in the center. But I think it's a lot easier to put your snip in the center first than guessing by doing the cuts on the side. All right, so once we have that, we're just going to add this to our card front like this. And there's your project. What do you think? Oh, I forgot to add the gems in the center. Let's do that. Add the gems in the center. Okay. So these opaque faceted gems are another celebration item. So this is the third celebration item on this project. So you can mix and match your celebration items. They coordinate so nicely. And what I love about these gems is the 3 colors on them allow you to use them on so many different papers, whether they're celebration or not. It gives you lots of creative possibilities, which is always a good thing. All right, so now that I have your comments back up, thanks, Chris. Oh, thanks, Polly. So you like the card? Thanks. Give me a thumbs up and some hearts if you like this. All right, so I'm going to put a big one inside the big flower and a little one inside the little flower. So if you wanted to add extras on there, you can, but I think I'll limit it to 2 because I just kind of like it. Now, if you want some additional Wink of Stella on there, you can always add more Wink of Stella. That's easy enough to do. But let's move on to our second project. All right. Oh, wait, we didn't do the inside. Let's do the inside because I really like this sentiment. So this stamp set has some really nice sentiments in it. So I put the hello there sentiment on the front, and I'm going to put your in my thoughts on the inside. So before we put this away, we need to do that. So I'm going to ink the sentiment in the garden green to match the sentiment on the front. And I'm just going to stamp this inside. And then I'm going to take the foliage and do a little something on the inside and on my envelope. Okay. So for the inside, I am going to ink this in Petal Pink ink. And I want to stamp off so that it's light. So let me get a piece of scrap paper here. So whenever you want a softer image, you can ink your stamp and then stamp on a piece of scrap paper first. So ink your stamp, stamp on scrap paper, and then stamp your image. And when you do this, it gives you a very soft image. So it's really nice for layering. And I'm going to leave that one a little darker so that you get some extra depth to that. Isn't that pretty? And now let's do the same thing with our envelope, except when we do our envelope, let's actually use the green and make it pretty. You could stamp it on the flap, or you could stamp it on the front, or both. It's your choice. Just let my stamp dry here. So I'm going to ink this and stamp like this. And then I'll ink my flowers in the bubble bath And I'm lining it up. It's not hard to line up. And now we have a really pretty detail on the back of our envelope. And if you wanted it on the front, you could do the same thing. I'm going to angle this, make sure I have plenty of room to write my address. And then I'm going to line this up and stamp. So now we have a beautiful envelope to go with our very pretty card with detail inside. Isn't that pretty? I really, really like this set. All right, so let's put this project away and let's work on project number 2. So project number 2 uses the rest of the stamps in this bundle. Yes, we really are using every stamp in this stamp set. And since we're using our embossing folder, we're using every item in this bundle today. So here's the second project that we're going to make. I changed up the colorway and went with a little more monochromatic background with a little pop of color with the brown. You could really make it any color you wanted. You could pull in the pink paper. There was some pink paper. There's a little bit of the pattern paper peeking out. So let's talk about how I made this project. So this project pulls in one additional die set, and it's one that you've seen me use a ton. This is the Scalloped Contours die set. If you don't have this set, I'm not sure how you're surviving because I go to it all the time. Look at all my extras I just tucked in here. You never know when you're going to use them. So I use this beautiful scallop to create the scallop detail. And then I use the middle die to create my front layer. And what I love about these is all these rectangles have a little different detail. This is eyelet. This is scalloped with piercing. This is scalloped with little like hash marks. This one actually cuts little slits, making it neat. And then you have the beautiful little eyelet again in the smallest one. So these are a really fun set, and they do coordinate with a stamp set. So you get these additional 2 flower dies, but this die you could use easily without even needing the stamp to go with it. This one works a little better with the stamp, but in any event, let's look at the other things we need to create this. So we have our card base, which is Misty Moonlight. I haven't used this color in a while, so I thought it was time to pull it out. This would make a beautiful sympathy card. Oh, somehow my bone folder, oh, here it is. I thought it wound up in my room. I'm working on product shares, so things are a little discombobulated. Then we have a front layer, just like the first card, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and we're going to emboss this with the Softly Sophisticated embossing folder. Okay, so we're going to run this through. Then I die cut my front layer in basic white, and then I die cut one size bigger from basic white, and that's going to go inside my card. Then I have some strips of designer series paper. We have 3 different strips here. You can mix and match depending on what you want to show. I might even just do that and maybe mix it up a little bit and not put the brown and do a little variation. Maybe I'll even do that. So to start with, let's emboss this front layer and get our card base put together. Hi, Teresa. Welcome, and thanks for joining today. So let's emboss this. And again, I'm going to put this through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You see that there's this line on the front of the embossing folder, and that's really nice to make sure your layer is straight. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but if the pattern is like this, where it's repetitive, you might want to make sure it's straight. It's really easy to do by lining it up with that black line on your embossing folder. All right, so here is our embossed layer. Very pretty. That'll go on the front. And then this die cutting work is already done. So all we're going to need is a little bit of that. So let's adhere these layers together. And I'm trying to decide if I want both or not. Maybe I'll do it like this, just for a little variation. That'll be fun. Let's do that. So let's adhere these two layers together. Hi, Robin. Welcome. I've not chatted with you in a while. I hope everything is going well. All right, so let's adhere this together. Now, these layers here are 5.5 inches, and you can make them however wide you want to make them. So I'm just going to make this little brown layer just a little bit. So I think these are like 1 inch to 1.25 inches each. It's a really great way to use up scraps when you layer strips like this for a card front. Oh, good. I'm glad everything is going good. Now we're going to layer it on this. And I'm trying to decide, I would like that little bird to show. So I think I'm going to layer I'm going to cut this first now that I have a little idea. I'm going to put this like this, and I want the little birdie's face. So I'm going to take this beautiful scallop and I'm going to run it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine to save this little bird's face. And I'm going to use a little piece of my 3M tape just to hold that there to make sure that it doesn't move. This comes in a little tape dispenser. You could also use a Post-it note. If you don't have a magnetic cutting plate for your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, that's a good alternative to having your dies stay in place while you cut them. All right, so here is our beautiful layer. And you have that really pretty stitch detail on there. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if the detail is really picking up well on the camera, but I sure hope it is. All right, so now we can just place this wherever we want. Don't worry if it's sticking out over here. You can always trim that off, or you can leave it. So I'm going to add some adhesive to this. And put it in place where I want it. And I don't want it too wide, or else when you add it to your card, it'll take up a lot of the front. So let's put this in place on the card front. So this is some Stampin' Seal. Notice how I'm bending it back, and then your adhesive is always at the tip of your dispenser. So I'm just centering this. Isn't that pretty? It's really pretty on the darker papers. Hopefully you can see the detail on that. And now we're going to add this to our card front. And you can cut this to the size of the layer if you want. I want it to extend from the top of the card to the bottom. So this is 5.5 inches long. And now let's just get an idea of how that looks. I like that. I think I'm going to trim off this light, little bit of light that's on that side. So that's what I had said. Don't worry if it sticks out, because you can always trim this down. So I'm going to put this in my little trimmer and cut it down just a little bit. And make this a little smaller. And look how pretty that is. Okay. And I think I'm happy with that now. But before I adhere it, I'm going to tie some twine on it. Now, this twine is part of the In Color twine pack from the annual catalog. And let me show you where that is. It comes with all 5 colors of the In Colors that are actually going away. Here it is down here. I think I may have used this last week or the week before. But you have the 2022 to 2024 In Color twine pack. This is going to be going away. when this catalog retires in April, because these in colors are going away. They are such good colors. But you get Parakeet Party, Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, Starry Sky, and Orchid Oasis. And even though we're using Misty Moonlight, look how nicely this matches. So just because it's not the same color doesn't mean you can use it. Now you could leave this twine like this, or you could separate it and pull the color twine out very easily to tie around there. And maybe I'll do that so that you can see a couple variations of how that would look. But first, let's stamp our front layer. And this is going to go on the inside, so we're going to put our sentiment on there. So let's pull in our inks. So we're going to use Shaded Spruce, Misty Moonlight, and Bubble Bath for our stamping. And we're also going to add in some rhinestone basic jewels on this project just for a little bling. So let's open up our inks here so that we can stamp. And we're going to use the other set of florals on this project. So you kind of have 2 sets of leaves and 2 sets of flowers that fit together. You have this first set that I used. Now we're going to use this set and then your 3 sentiments. So it really is a great set. But the first thing I'm going to do is ink my stamp, and I have kind of a lot in front of me here. Let's thin out. I'm going to ink my stamp, and I don't want this green so bold, so I'm going to stamp off to get the excess ink off, and then I can stamp right on my project, and then I'm going to do that one more time. And it's okay that I've stamped off. Oh, you can't see. Oh, bummer. Sorry about that. You can't see that I have stamped off here. It's on this glass mat, but it's okay because I'm just going to wipe it and now it's gone, which is why I love this glass mat. All right, so let's move this so you can actually see me stamping. Now I'm going to take the Bubble Bath, which matches the Designer Series paper, and I'm going to add the flowers. So when you stamp this, all I'm doing is lining up that bud and that bud on the stamp, and everything else falls into place. So when you're using these stamps that require you to line up with a second stamp, you don't have to worry about lining up every single flower. Just pick 2 points on the stamp and line them up. And once those 2 points are lined up, everything else is going to fall right into place. So it's a lot easier to line up than you might think. So now here are our beautiful flowers. And then I'm going to add the sentiment, which is I really appreciate you. And we're going to add that in the Misty Moonlight ink to coordinate with our card base. So I really appreciate you. And then inside the card, we're also, we can stamp or we can leave it plain. But I think I'm going to add a little bit of the beautiful flowers, and then I'm just going to leave the rest of it to write on so that I have a little space to make it like a little note card. So let me show you what I meant when I said it's okay to stamp off. So I'm going to ink my stamp and stamp off to get the excess ink, but then I'm just going to come in and stamp here and see how it has gotten on my mat because I stamped off, and you just wipe it. Now it's gone. It's just that easy. This is what I love about this mat. Then I'm going to add my flowers. And now you have this really pretty layer to add inside your card. And again, if you wanted to do your envelope, you could also stamp on your envelope, which is always kind of a fun little surprise when you open your card. All right, so now let's put this together. So I'm going to add a little adhesive on my inside layer and get that inside my card before I do something like drop an ink pad on it, which is what I did when I was originally creating this card. And then let's build the front of our card. So I am going to take this twine, and I said I would show you an alternative of separating it. So let's get the piece we need. Oh boy, your comments went away again. Hold on. I'm not usually a mess like this. Facebook is just being frustrating. There we go. All right. So again, this is the Starry Sky twine from the In Color twine pack. And this is how easy it is to separate. So all I do is twist it against the grain and get that color. And then with my fingernail, I just pull. I pull down on the white, I pull up on the color, and this piece is kind of, whoa, I've never had a break before. All right, well, we'll start over. It's okay. Here we go. This piece is long, so it's going to take a little coaxing to get it out, I think. And then you can save the white. You can save the white and use it as just plain white twine. I don't know, I've got it twisted on itself. So I don't ever throw away the white when I separate the colors. I always save it because there's always times when you need a little white twine on a project. And you could even color that with your Stampin' Blends. Now let's see if this piece is long enough. Let's hope it's still long enough to tie around here. It might be a little tight. Okay. Wow. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to get to tie this bow or not. Let's see. It's pretty short. But I think you get the idea, right? No, I'm not going to be able to tie it. It's way too short. But you get the idea. Now you can have a single color. Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe I can leave that. Let's see if we can salvage this. I love the challenge of trying to salvage something. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. Get it where we want it on here. Pull it like that and put a glue dot on here. And then now I'm just going to take another piece and tie my bow. How about that? For salvaging something. What do you think? And then I'll show you both of them, and then you can decide if you like it with the white in there or if you like it with just the solid color. If I can get this one separated. There we go. Okay, so now I'm just going to tie my bow here. And then I'm just going to stick this down on the glue dot. Let's double it. This is only one strand, so it's a little hard to see. This will be better, much better. So I just doubled it so that the pop of color was a little better. So I'll take my scissors and cut this end. And now I'm just going to put it right down on that glue dot. There we go. Now we can adhere this in place. Now we have all these fun tails. Oh, I even like that better. So let's put a little Tombow on this so that I have a couple of seconds to slide it into place. So I'm just going to line it up on the top and the bottom. And then this will go on the front with some dimensionals. What do you think? So tell me, when you saw your celebration catalog, is this bundle something that caught your eye? Here we go. I'm going to slide this underneath. I just slid it over a little bit because I liked it behind there a little better. What do you think? So now you have two different options. No, Chris says no, but it does now. So there you go. You've got a couple of different color patterns to choose from. Do you have a favorite? What do you think? Do you like the brown or do you like the pink on there? Let's see if anyone has a preference. Do you like it with the white or do you like it with the solid color? So many options, right? I need to put some gems on there. Let's do that because everything's better with bling. So I'm going to take some of these basic rhinestones and just sprinkle them throughout the flowers. So Robin likes the brown. Anyone else? Does anyone else have a preference? So Chris likes both, but she likes the bow better with the white. Okay. And Melissa likes the brown. Okay. That's good to know. It really is a nice brown pattern on there. I have to agree that it really is nice. There we go. Some gems. So if you like today's projects, give me some thumbs up, give me some hearts. Let me know which project you like better. So do you like the pink one or do you like the Misty Moonlight? So Polly likes the pink. Oh, so Polly likes this one. Okay. So what do you think? Pink project or blue project? Do you have a preference between the pink and the blue? Oh, Chris has all the designer series paper. It's so good, isn't it? It's such good paper. So Robin likes the blue, Melissa likes the blue, but Robin also likes both. Okay. I think I like the pink one, and I think I like the pink over here as well. I don't know why. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining me. Again, celebration is going hot, so get your celebration items. They are while supplies last. So everything in here, if you see something that you love, just know that once it's gone, Stampin' Up! Does not get more. They're actually really gone. So lots of cute things in here, beautiful papers that coordinate with bundles. Here's the paper we used today, and look at this beautiful card that they used. This top of the birdhouse is made from the carousel bundle from the annual catalog. Isn't that not brilliant? Super cute, super beautiful. Look at this. So lots to choose from. Now, if you are a demonstrator, don't forget, we have our Stampin' Up! On Stage event coming up, and I am hosting a Crafter Math in Houston in March. So if you're going to On Stage and would like to have some fun on Saturday night, it filled, but I was able to add some more spots, and those extra spots have not filled yet. So you still have the opportunity to jump in and join us for a night of fun. So information for that is on my blog and my events. So thanks for joining me, everyone. It's always fun to have you and spend some time with you on Friday afternoon. And I will look forward to seeing you again next week. Bye.